So today I was tagged in a post in my vendor success secrets group, and I thought this post would make an absolutely wonderful video to help people understand how they should be naming their Facebook page and why. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read to you the question. I'm playing with my video here. I'm going to read to you the question, and then I'm going to talk about some of the responses that she got on this post, as well as my feelings and my advice of what she should do and why. So the question was, opinions, please. I have 531 followers on my page and I've only done two small markets. So it's not like I have a super established names. Now, first of all, 531, that's that's a good amount. If you've only done two markets, I would question where that 531 came from. Be very careful of like ladders and things like that. They give you followers that are not your ideal client. So if you only done two markets and you have 531, that's a little bit of a red flag. But I don't know what else you've done to promote yourself. But I'm thinking of changing it before declaring myself an official business now that I believe it's outgrown just being a hobby. It's currently Haley Lynn Handmade, and as of now, I'm just offering hand and machine or embroidery. But I also want to be able to expand on any other crafts I may get into. Do you all personally like that name and think I should keep it, or come up with something better and more catchy? Thanks in advance. So there were a couple of comments on here. I didn't read all of the comments. I did get tagged by one of my clients in the comments where she's like, "Hey, go, go to Allie Thompson's stuff and check that out about naming your page." But there were the two comments I saw I thought were so indicative of how people view this subject of naming their page, especially in the handmade world. So one person said, as long as the new crafts are also handmade, which they are by definition, I would keep it. So she's saying, like, hey, as long as everything that you sell is handmade, I would keep it. And then the other person said, your name works just fine as is and allows you to grow in many directions as long as it's handmade. Um, you already have a following. Why change things now? You're on a roll. So here is the actual danger of keeping a name that is generic. And I'm going to say generic because what is handmade, first of all? So here's the danger. What is handmade? So tell me what the product is she sells. If you were to read her name, if all you saw was her name, would you know the product that she sells? If it's Haley Lynn's Handmade, would you know the product that she sells? Now, I am of the belief that it is extremely important for us to clearly communicate what we sell in the name of our page if we want people to click over to our page and find out what we have. And the example I often give is if you have a page name that's Kathy's Crafty Corner, right? That's a very common kind of generic name, not specific in any direction. Just that, Kathy does crafts, right? And let's say Kathy's Crafty Corner makes soy wax candles with wooden wicks, right? Now, there's nothing in Kathy's name that says that that's what she does. And let's say somebody sees Kathy post in a group and they hover over her name and it says owner at Kathy's Crafty Corner. Now, there are some people out of curiosity will click that. But let's say there is a candle lover who is hovering over Kathy's name, and that's what Kathy sells is candles. They hover over Kathy's name and they say, oh, somebody that does crafts. And they have no indication at all that Kathy actually has the product that they're looking for. So by adding Kathy, even if we want to keep Kathy's Crafty Corner, adding a qualifier to the name saying something like wood wick soy candles, for a candle lover and a candle buyer, that is going to be, that's exactly what they want to see. They're going to say, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I was looking for. This is exactly what I like. Let me see what her candles look right? So I think of it like fishing, having bait on the end of your hook. If you're out fishing for candle lovers, let's say you have a candle page and you're out fishing for candle lovers, but you never put the bait on the hook to show them that you are a candle business, then they're just going to swim on by and assume that your page is not for them. The other thing that naming your page with a specific product does is it helps establish you as the expert of that product, right? You're not Kathy's Crafty Corner where you do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. You're Kathy's Crafty Corner where you make soy wax candles with wooden wicks, right? So just adding that qualifier helps tremendously. And the mistake that people make is they think, well, I want to make lots of different types of products and I want to be creative and I want to make a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And you find at the shows, you can sell a little bit of this, a little bit of that. That simply does not work online. And if you're listening to this video right now and you're saying, like, oh, Allie, but I sell a little bit of everything online and I'm still making sales, I would say, great. But I can almost guarantee you that you are leaving a massive amount of money on the table. If you are doing well with selling a little bit of this and a little bit of that online, you could be doing even better by having a very clear, unique product focus. So in this case, the OP said that she does embroidery, hand embroidery. Now, embroidery is technically a process, it's not a product. So embroidery what? Embroidery towels, embroidered robes, embroidered what? And I'm sure people are listening to this saying, anything, she can embroider anything. Oh my gosh, it's endless, all the things she can embroider. And that's the problem. You're never you are leading with your process and not a product. And what people want to buy is a process, not a product. Same thing happens in crochet all the time. Oh, I do crochet. That's not a product. Crochet can literally mean anything. And embroidery could literally mean anything. I still don't know what the product is that you're trying to sell. So if you want to be creative and make a little bit of everything, great, but keep that to the shows. When selling online, we have tested this over and over and over again. The more specific you are and the more clearly you communicate the product that you sell, the specific product and the niche that you sell it to, if there is also a niche, if you can communicate that specific product, you are going to make way more sales, hands down. We have tested this. I have had people like dare me. They say, Allie, you don't understand. Like, I'm going to make this work and I'm going to prove you wrong. And then after 3, 4, 5 months, they test it out my way and they see sales spike. Right now, I can't guarantee that all you have to do is product focus and your sales are going to spike. There's a lot of different variables on that. But if you're doing all the right things, you're making the right kinds of posts, you have the right kinds of followers, you have all of this and that, and you're just not quite making the sales that you think you need to, niching down can be that little hinge that swings a big door. Having a very specific, unique product focus. One more example on that. Let's think about like resin. Resin is a material. It's not even a process, right? It's just a material. And a lot of people say, oh, I make resin products. That doesn't tell me anything. Now, my daughter, she used resin and she made dice for people who play D&D. She made custom dice and she did like little cool little inserts in the dice. And her business, her qualifier was handmade resin dice for tabletop RPGs, right? And she blew up. She got 25,000 Instagram followers. She was able to sell a ton of product. She once made 8 grand in like 72 hours. It was ridiculous how much money she was able to make because she niched it down. She both had a very specific who she was selling to, and she only had that one kind of product. But the cool thing is she could be as creative as she wanted to be within that one product. And that's what I encourage you to do. For the original poster, find a product that is the most popular, that people are always asking for, that has the biggest wow, that you enjoy making, that you're also profitable on. It's got to check a lot of boxes, right? But when you find that product and you lead with that product, you'll find you can sell more than enough of that product to be able to build a sustainable business. And on top of that, you can get really creative within that product you have. So let's say it's embroidered towels. You can get so creative. Like you could do D&D dragons on embroidered towels. There's so much interesting and fun and cool things you can do within that niche. And then if you're like, hey, but I got to scratch the itch of all of these other crafts I want to do, great, but that's not your business. And this is the difference. She said she was ready to go from hobby to business. A business isn't, I get to do whatever I want, whenever I want, and play around with whatever I want to do. That's a hobby. If you're going to have a business, you have to have a clear product focus. What is the product that you sell? Who is your audience? Where do you find your audience? And you'll find a lot of the stress of selling online melts away when you get that clarity of your unique product focus. I've done this with clients over and over and over again where they're like, oh my gosh, I don't know where to go. I don't know where to start. I don't know, like, there's all the things. We get them narrowed down. And the first thing they say is like, that is such a relief. Now I know exactly what I need to do in my marketing. It's clear. I know who my market is. I know what it is I'm selling. I can talk about it. I can write product descriptions. I know exactly what I'm doing. And I'm not having to jump around of, figuring out who to sell this product to and who to sell this product to and who to sell this product to. And also, you're not making the mistake of thinking just because somebody wants to buy embroidery items or candles or whatever it is, that they also want to buy the other things, right? People tend to like a very specific kind of product. And if you can provide that product and invite those people in and get them excited about what it is you sell, you can make a lot of money niching down versus trying to stay broad and general so that you can cover everything. The broader you go, the more difficult your marketing is, the less money you're going to make, hands down. Again, you might be able to get away with it at the shows, but online is not a show. It is not a show. People are not walking around browsing with cash in their hand, ready to spend it on something, right? We're building brands online. We're building businesses online. We're building social media followings online, and there's got to be a central focus to build that around. Okay? I hope that was helpful. I hope everybody gets inspired by that. Look at your page, ask yourself, if somebody just read the name of my page, would they know what it is I'm selling? And look, if anybody here needs help with this, this is exactly what we cover in my Handmade Sellers Club. You can click the link in my profile on my Facebook page. There's a link to Handmade Sellers Club for you to learn more about it and what all is involved. It's only $27 a month. It's less than $1 a day. And we give you so many resources, not just helping you with naming your page, but how to post, what to post, the whole 9 yards. It's a life-changing program. So check that out. If you need the link, just comment below and I'll send you the link as well. All right, guys, thanks. Bye.